Albert Einstein, the great scientist, once said, "The most important endeavor is the striving for morality in our action. Our inner balance and very existence depends on it. Morality in our actions gives beauty and dignity to life. To make this a living force and bring it to clear consciousness is the foremost task of education." We are going to discuss the values in human society, the importance of values, the features of values, the types of values, and the overall impact of values on human society. Values are part of our cultural system as well as our personality. Without values, we may not have our personality. Values are inculcated in the psychological system through socialization, and they are instrumental in shaping and determining our perception, our attitude, our personality, and in turn our behavior in groups and in society. Values are always intimated with reference to a particular group. Values are feelings about what is desirable or undesirable, or what should or what should not exist. Values can also be defined as the beliefs, mission, ideology, philosophy, choices and preferences. The choices and preferences that we develop since our childhood throughout the life will be responsible for developing our value system. Whether we are consciously aware of them or not, every individual has a core set of personal values. Values can range from the commonplace, such as the belief in hard work and punctuality, to the more psychological, such as self-reliance, concern for others, and harmony of purpose. Convictions and framework of philosophy of an individual, on the basis of which he or she judges what is good or bad, what is desirable or what is undesirable, what is ethical and what is unethical, also is pivoted on values. Values are shaped by the culture in which we live in and whatever experiences we gather. The threads and the wave of the social fabric are formed by the multidimensional interaction of social activities, organizations, institutions, and values. The ultimate determinants of the power of social organization are values of society. Abraham defined values in a very simple way. He defined values as generalized standards by which people define what is good and what is bad. Values are also known as beliefs that guide actions and judgments across a variety of situations. It represents the basic convictions that a specific mode of conduct is personally or socially preferable to an opposite mode of conduct. Research has shown that we are only capable of recognizing and describing merely 20% of our values. The rest of 80%, the lion's chunk of our values, are unconscious but ultimately still drive our behavior. It's just like the iceberg. Only a small tip of iceberg is visible, but the huge part of the iceberg is within the water. It's just like that. So the huge part of our personality is invisible. Whatever we can see, whatever we can feel, whatever we can perceive by seeing an individual, it's only the external layer of the value system that is inherent inside that personality. So that's why value is intrinsic in nature, and it's the important part, significant part of the personality. At any one time, we are living according to 10 to 15 very specific values. Because of the majority of our values are unconscious, individuals typically cannot identify. Our attitudes, beliefs, and values are dynamic, shifting, and constantly being changing to cope with the changing relationships, changing situations, and changing conditions. The priority we assign to different values changes over time, and we navigate our way through life based on aging, experience, changes in environment and or circumstances. We rarely stay in one place for longer than 18 months, and our values change along an indefinable framework that we move along both forward and backwards. Values provide understanding of the attitudes, the motivation, the behaviors of an individual and cultures. Values influence our perception of the world around us. Values even represent interpretations of right and wrong. And values imply that some behaviors or outcomes are preferred over others. Now we will discuss what are the sources, what are the factors of value formation. How does values form? It is the family which is very first primary source of value formation. Then comes a school, then comes a state. Together, family, school and state, we regard them as social institutions, which is the primary source of value formation. Then comes peers and friends, who help in forming the values. Then comes the organization, work, career and professional codes. All these factors influence an individual to form a unique set of values in an individual. Each society is unique to its members. Uniqueness of a society depends on its social systems. And an individual is always a part of social system, although the society is complex in nature, it's diverse in nature, it's full of, unique personalities. So in order to understand a society, we need to understand the individual. And in order to understand the individual, we need to understand the value system within him or her. There is a hierarchy of control within the system. And these are values, norms, roles, and sanctions. This hierarchy will decide one's value formation. What are the characteristics of values now? The following are the varied characteristics of values. First and foremost, values changes over time. It never remains same. It never remains static. Values form personality. This means value is the pivot of personality. Whatever personality we talk about, it all depends on the values. And whatever is seen, whatever is perceived through the personality, through the overt personality, that is in fact only the external reflection of the values that are inherent in that particular person. Values determine the norms, the roles of the individuals. Every individual behave in certain way, and that behavior depends on values that that particular person carries. Ethnocentrism is expressed through values. Every personality has got certain ethnic background. That ethnic background is also manifested through personality. Values control the society as one form of social sanction, and different laws are framed through values only. That's why value formation in an individual is not only important for the individual, but even it is important for the society. There are two types of values. One is instrumental values and another is terminal values. Instrumental values are preferable modes of behavior or means of achieving the terminal values. These are the preferable modes of behavior. One chooses to have some inclination. That particular inclination is instrumental value. And whatever is the output, whatever is the result of that instrumental value is the terminal value. It is the desirable end states of existence. There are the goals that a person would like to achieve during his or her lifetime. These values vary among different groups of people in different cultures. For example, one would like to be successful in life. So success is a value, and in order to be successful, one needs to be hardworking. So hardworking is also another value. So here what we can see is success is the terminal point and hardworking is the initial point or the pivoting point. So hence success here is the terminal values and hardworking is the instrumental values. We can take, for example, self-control as one of the instrumental values, which will lead you to inner peace, that is terminal values. Again, if we take imagination and innovation, these two values, here imagination is instrumental value which will lead you to innovation. So innovation is the terminal values. If some individual is honest enough, then naturally, certainly, he or she will be reliable in society. So honesty is the instrumental value and reliable is terminal value. Based on a research, one very interesting categorization of value system was studied in today's workforce, which are also known as dominant work values in today's workforce. The studies categorized the individuals into veterans, boomers, Zers and nexters. Veterans were taken from the individuals who entered the workforce from 1950s or early 1960s. Boomers were taken from the peoples from the age group, peoples who entered the workforce within 1965 to 1985. Zers were taken from the individuals who entered the workforce within the span of 1985 to 2000. And nexters were taken from the 2000 onwards. That means the individuals who joined the workforce after 2000. So what was found from this research was that the dominant work values for these four categories of people were different and it shifted dramatically. Let's see. For veterans who entered the workforce from 1950s onwards till 1960s, their dominant work values were found to be hardworking, they were conservative enough, they were conforming, they were loyal to the organization. Whereas boomers who entered the workforce from 1965 to 1985, their dominant work values was not hardworking. Their dominant work values was success, achievement, ambition, dislike of authority. And as it was seen in the case of veterans who were loyal to the organization, they were loyal to the career. Zers who entered the workforce from 1985 to 2000, their dominant work values was found to be work-life balance. And they were team-oriented, they disliked the rules, and as it was seen in the case of veterans who were loyal to the organization, the boomers were loyal to the career, Zers were loyal to the relationships. Nexters, that is the current generation that we have today, who entered the workforce after 2000, their dominant work values are confident, financial success, self-reliance, but team-oriented. And as it is seen in the case of veterans are loyal to the organization, boomers are loyal to the career, Zers are loyal to the relationships. Nexters, the current generation, is loyal to both self and relationships. This shows us that how values shift, how values change from one state to another, and how dynamic the value is.